Hey, set your mind right now. Nothing before this matters. We came here with everything still on the line. Everything you wanted in the offseason is still out in front of us. What would you give for that moment right now? Let's go, man.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Great players, they have a great organization, and you tell them one thing.
What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video. If anybody is new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. But with that being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Las Vegas Raiders have won back-to-back games and are now 4-7 on this 2022 NFL season in one of the craziest games I have seen in quite some time. The Raiders in the second consecutive week have won in overtime, this time with a game-winning walk-off touchdown from our workhorse running back, the man Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs sealed the victory for the Las Vegas Raiders with an 86-yard run. Overall, the game we witnessed from Josh Jacobs was an absolutely incredible game. This guy is making an absolute statement to this franchise that he deserves to get paid. Jacobs had an astounding 303 total yards last night, a franchise record for the Raiders. And this guy literally put this offense on his back and led us to the victory. Also, a huge shout out to the defense, specifically Mad Max Crosby, making some huge plays on defense, making some timely sacks in the fourth quarter and in overtime on quarterback Geno Smith. Those stops, overall the defense gave up a lot of points against Geno Smith, but at the end of the day they gave us some key stops and put us in a great position to win the game. Also, shout out to the Raider Nation as well. I was in the building in Seattle. The atmosphere was absolutely electric. We damn near took over that stadium, and the support from the Raider Nation fans in the stands was definitely felt by Seattle, and we were able to upset a good football team. So this win, I feel a lot better about this one compared to the win we got last week against Denver, because I thought Denver was a bad football team. Seattle overall is a very good football team. They are in the hunt to make the playoffs, and by the Raiders winning this game and winning it the way they did, it showed me a lot about this football team. Now, the Raiders still having a very uphill battle in terms of making the playoffs. At the very least, this football team has shown heart, passion, the resiliency to compete with a playoff caliber team like Seattle. Not only just compete, but able to get the victory in their building in a very hostile environment. That was an absolute heartbreaker for them. At the beginning of the season, the Raiders have been in most of these close games, but we were not able to close out these games. It looks like this team is finally learning how to play in the fourth quarter, learning how to close out games, learning how to make the crucial plays to win games. Also, I got to give credit to a guy that I've been very critical of, and that is head coach Josh McDaniels. Overall, I thought he called a hell of a game against Seattle. On the offense, he just kept feeding Josh Jacobs, and he was able to move the chains of the passing game using a lot of different weapons on offense that we don't usually see production from. Most notably like running back Amir Abdullah, but we were also able to get Mac Hollins involved. Also, Moreau was able to make some key plays. Seattle did a really good job on containing Davante Adams. He wasn't able to have a crazy game, but he was able to make spectacular plays when we need him to. That's just a superstar talent that he is. So it finally showed us that we weren't so one-dimensional, so reliant on Davante Adams in the passing game. Overall, I thought McDaniels did a good job in the play calling against Seattle. I will say there were a couple bad calls that frustrated me, and for me most notably it was that 4th and inches in the fourth quarter. All you have to do is get a couple inches, and this guy runs a halfback toss. I did not understand that play call whatsoever. Just run that shit up the gut, but at the end of the day, luckily we were able to get the win. And just overall, this win showed me that something has changed with this team for us to be able to rebound after hitting rock bottom and what appeared to be the locker room crumbling in front of our eyes. I'm going to be honest, I did not expect this team to be able to bounce back and get back-to-back victories And for this team to also look united as we have been, the last 2 games you see the locker room speeches we gave, you know, it definitely looks like this team is united, that they believe in one another and they are willing to fight for each other, and I love to see that. Now, I also don't want to sell you a pipe dream and say that we will be able to make the playoffs, because in order to do that, we have to win every single game for the rest of the season, go 10-7, and at that point we still might not even make it. We would have to kind of depend, see what happens in the AFC, see if certain teams start losing, we get some certain tiebreakers going our way. So it's a long shot making the playoffs. And also with this team, I think there's still a lot of improvement to be made to seriously become a championship contender. But the thing I like to see is you can visually see progress with this team. For example, throughout this whole season, this offensive line has struggled tremendously, especially with pre-snap penalties, with the holding calls, with the false starts. This game, I think we did very good in limiting those dumb pre-snap penalties, although we did have one in the late 4th quarter. I think that was on Jermaine Illuminor. We got to fix that. But overall, the number of penalties that we got from the offensive line dropped drastically. I hope we can continue that trend. And also, shout out to the offensive line. They look great against Seattle. And this offensive line is just looking a lot more disciplined, and they are really starting to gel as a unit. I hope we can continue to build on this. And also defensively with this team, I think we still need a lot of work. We gave up 34 points, but what I did like to see is that we did step up in key moments in the game, got key stops, and also we were able to generate some turnovers, which is something that this team has struggled with for quite some time. We can be more aggressive on defense, be able to steal some possessions here and there. That'll tremendously help this team. But with the Raiders now being 4-7, I think it'll be interesting to see how we finish the season. Personally, I think we're not going to make the playoffs, but I do see us potentially going 8-9, maybe 7-10. We will likely miss the playoffs, but I still think we can address most of our needs in the draft and throughout free agency. But I think if the Raiders can continue to be competitive, continue to win close games like this, look a lot better in this final stretch of the season, I think I can be a lot more optimistic and really have some actual faith in McDaniels in this new regime to really build something moving forward in the next coming years, get a solid offseason, preparing for next year, and build on that. If we continue trending upwards, things can be changed. We can build a playoff caliber roster, a team that can compete for a Super Bowl in the near future. But Raider Nation, I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the win against the Seattle Seahawks? Like I said, an absolute thriller of a game, crazy ass game, one of the craziest games I have seen in quite some time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Also, drop a record prediction on what you think the Raiders will finish with in the season. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that is new to the channel and you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.